Alrighty. Streaming. Music and everything. Here we go. Just gotta wait on the delay. And yep. Alrighty. Okay. So, hi. I gotta turn this down a little bit though for me. I hope it's not too loud for you. It didn't seem too bad. Turn it down a touch. Okay. Subtle is good. Subtle background music. I got Twitch. One viewer. Is that one viewer me? Okay. I guess we'll try and have the chat window kind of viewable. Not that I'll ever look at, the chat in a reasonable time frame, because I never do. So, alright. Yeah. I'm mentally preparing, hang on. I am here though. Got stuff. We're gonna do stuff. Okay. Got my music. Got my OBS. Got my stream. Let's go. Alright. Cool. So, I was gonna do another one of these kind of like material spheres, because that just kind of seemed like a fun, easy one to do. And just kind of like, I don't know, hop in, kind of paint. Whatever, whatever promises or anything that I said last week, just, disregard. I'm basically just gonna do whatever I feel like doing. But, yeah, so I really like these opals and these gemstones, and I thought that we would do another kind of gemstone looking thing. And also, you might notice that I have it called Arkenstone. I read The Hobbit to my daughter every night, so, you know. And we just finished it last tonight, because I read it in sections, because it's pretty long. So, I don't know, we're just kind of in a hobbity mood. So, we're gonna paint something kind of like an Arkenstone, you know, or at least something that kind of makes me feel like it's magical. Because in the book, it's like described as this white stone, but they've obviously like they've cut the gem in such a way that it like really captures the light and it glows with its own like inner glowiness. Yeah, not quite worded like that, but anyway. So I have this mental image of what the Arkenstone would kind of look like. Um, and it made me kind of think of like these kind of opals because they're so pretty. Like, it is still a white stone, but there's just like so much color and iridescence in them. So either way, it's kind of a fun one to do. So that's what we're gonna do. Yep. I'm just kind of laying in some color. And unlike the last material sphere, you'll notice I have a few different references. So we're gonna kind of make it up a little bit more. So right now I'm just kind of like throwing in some shapes and color. I really like, even though this one's very opaque, I like the fracturing, and I like the look of the texture, if that makes sense. Like, these are very like glossy, and this one has a little bit of matte finish to it, even though there is gloss, there is shine, but I don't know, there's something, if I can capture some of this visual texture, I think that would be really cool. So we'll see. We'll see. But for right now, we're just gonna throw in some base color, base shading, and we're just gonna experiment and see what happens and see what we get. So hopefully we get something kind of cool. I do want it to be a little translucent, but I kind of like some of this this cloudy opaqueness. So we'll see what we manage to do. I make no promises. But yeah, hope everyone's doing well. Another start of the week. It is like Monday, right? What day is it? It is Monday. Alright, cool. Just checking. It kind of snuck up on me. I kind of forgot that, like, this is my streaming day. Because I've been working on some other pieces. Some of you may have seen, or like some abroad in Japan and Sea Dog fan art kind of stuff. Because those are they're like the ones that I did were, you know, quite over the top, but they were super cool to make and animate. I'm getting so much more into that. Like I really enjoy that that animation process and like putting a little more life into it. So yeah, I'm still just kind of throwing in some color. I don't fully have a direction just yet, so I'm kind of like meandering through this painting, so don't think that like every stroke that I'm making here with the digital paint is well planned or thought out, because it isn't. So I'm curious if I want to keep just like the white background, because if with this being a white stone, it might benefit from having a little bit of like color in the background first of all, because we want to establish what our background color is going to be, because it is going to affect the colors that we choose to put into our object. So we'll do that for now. We might go kind of fancy with this. We'll see. You know how I like my fanciness, making things all purty. Okay, I have to think of reality, like 3 dimensions. Hang on. How would the floor plane look? Yeah. It doesn't make sense, because we want our light coming from here. Oh. I don't know about it yet. Thinking about it. Kind of just messing around. And maybe just like an off-white. I don't love it. Kind of jank, to be honest. Maybe we'll just make it even more simple. I might be getting too detailed. Maybe we'll just do a simple gradient. I just want to establish it so that when we get into our colors, they make sense. Okay. Yeah. That'll have to do for now. Means our stone. Well, maybe we do make it darker. Let's see. Hello. Da, da, da. Let's do that. Let's kind of make it a little warmer, maybe. Too warm. The yellow's kind of nice. I kind of like that. But it might be too much. Too dark. Be like right there-ish. The color might not be the right kind of color for this, and we can change it, but the value is more of my concern at the moment, because we can always just like grayscale it if the color is like not working. I'm actually kind of curious what. We're more on the red. Let's see. I wanted to. Alright, forgive me if I'm a little sluggish right now. Hue? Okay. That's not too bad, actually. The difference with color. Yeah. one seems a little slightly more purple. That one's more washed out. We'll go with you. Alright. Use that background. That's it. I'm going with this. Alright. Back to the painting. Cool. Okay. So yeah, as I was saying, meandering through this painting. I don't have a clear idea just yet, just yet, but we'll figure it out as we go. And if it sucks, we just redo it, to be honest. Like, it's okay to kind of like experiment and try and get some ideas out, even if they don't work. Like, don't be afraid to scrap it and like start over. But we know with this being a sphere that there will be some basic things to keep in mind, which would be like the light and shadow and like some basic rendering that we can do. And the details will kind of help all that come together. This is so pretty. I love these kind of gemstones. Opals are really cool. They're so like fascinating. Like there's so many different types too. So that's always a fun one. And they just kind of inherently look magical. So if there's like, you know, if you're wanting to add some kind of like magical stone or magical material, opals are a pretty good go-to for that. Just saying. Okay. Let's throw a little more light in here. Okay. Let's try and put some details in this. Now, I like some of these yellows and these bright spots. I gotta think about this. I gotta think how it's all gonna come together. And I might add like some little fissures and stuff, because that's a nice breakup. Like these are kind of cut and formless, and like some of them are raw, so like they have some shape and dimension to them, whereas like I'm just doing a sphere, so we want to kind of add some depth and some like change in how the light interacts with it. And one way to do that is like if we have these little like fractures or fissures inside it. So I will try and incorporate some of that. I'm just kind of thinking about the overall color of this stone. I'm looking a lot at this one particularly. I really like how that looks. I'm trying to understand the big shapes. I really like this color. So let's just toss some areas of color in. And a little blue down here to balance it. And I'm gonna try, I wanna hit it with some stronger areas of these little like glittery bits. We're gonna see how that works. I'll be pretty rough with it. I'll just drop them in some areas here, some there. Remember, I'm just learning as I go with this, so. Which, for me, is kind of nice. Not being as afraid to, like, experiment live and, like, not have it all planned out. It's like, you know, like, I don't want to waste you guys' time. But, it's still good to kind of see, like, the process as well. And to also, like, reaffirm that it is okay if you don't necessarily have a solid plan going in. It's more important just to do it. Because then you have something to work with. Let's make that a little more green. Ooh. Bring out the magic. And we got a lot of colors. The pinks are kind of nice. I'll make you a little more pink. Pinky purple. I need you brighter. There we go. So as I'm kind of throwing in some color here, I'm looking at some of these big shapes that I've made, and I'm thinking about how I can kind of refine them as well. Add more depth, because we want more depth. We want this to look interesting. It might not be the Arkenstone of Thrain, but we're gonna try and make it look cool. I have to say, I really wanted to like the Hobbit movies. Wait, tangent, alright. I really wanted to like them, and I just can't. And like, this might be an issue that The Hobbit is like one of my favorite books. I freaking love The Hobbit. I've read it cover to cover many, many times. Um, and I don't know, man. It's like they put so much into it. And I think the actor that they have for Bilbo does a pretty good job of capturing the essence of Bilbo's character. But the movie overall, the movies, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too precious about it because it's one of my favorite books. But I also think, here's my hot take, alright? That you didn't ask for, but you're gonna get anyway. You have to change things for movies. You have to. I've seen movies where you try and like, or they try and like follow it like scene for scene, and rarely does that ever work. It often just gets really boring and stale. So I'm well aware of that. Like, things have to be changed because it's a completely different format that you're consuming this entertainment. But the changing of things is not the issue. It's the essence that you want to preserve. And I just don't feel that the movies preserved the essence of The Hobbit. I think they took what is a kid's book and tried to make it this like serious and gritty like Lord of the Rings extra, and it just doesn't work. Like, and there's other issues too. Like, my big gripe is that the dwarves are like really unlikable right from the start. So, and that's not how they are in the books. I know how I sound right now, but yeah. So disappointing. Like, I even own the DVDs, but it just was kind of lacking. It just didn't feel like it just lost the essence of the story. I'm fine when like things have to be changed, but you still want to preserve the essence of the book, and they didn't. I don't think, you know, unfortunately. But come at me if you disagree. It's fine. You don't have to agree. But on the other hand, fucking love the Lord of the Rings movies are phenomenal, and they really they do feel like Middle Earth. They also feel like the most epic D&D campaign ever, and I just fucking adore it. I also love that there's straight up Wilhelm screams in this like big budget movie, and in several places there are Wilhelm screams, and it's just fantastic. I love it. So yeah, Lord of the Rings movies fantastic. Hobbit movies a little bit to be desired, but anyway. Sorry, I have a cough. Yep. There's my opinion. Air that out on the internet and get all the hate. It's starting to look kind of interesting. So, as I've been yammering, you know, the the movie critic that I am is coming together. Yeah, I like the iridescence. I like, and also, so like when I was putting in these little bits, like you can go kind of like random, and I'm not saying you can't make that work, but when I was putting in these little like pieces, I mean, you kind of notice I'm trying to keep it with the form because this is also going to help enforce like the shape of your image. So when you're adding these kind of details, that's something to keep in mind is that you want them to enhance, you know, and reinforce the shape and the object that you're trying to convey. So, you know, because like even if you look at these little details, they're, you know, they're curving around the shape. So just keep that in mind, you know. You do need to think about it a little bit, and that's why in the beginning I kind of like when we started the stream about 20 minutes ago. I was just kind of like, okay. I did need a little bit of processing power. Contrary to saying that you can just jump in and start it. I know. There's nuance, alright? Everything that I tell you, there's still a little bit of nuance to. She said go! It's still valid. Still valid just to jump in. But also, try and maybe plan a little bit. But also just start. Are you confused yet? No. Good. Ooh. There's an idea. I'm looking at this, and oh god, it's so pretty, so glittery. Those will be some like final touch details that we do. Anyway, but if you kind of see, it's very faint, but we do get these kind of lines, and this like they're not quite like fissures, but they do have these little tracks. It's almost, I was thinking of them as like veins, which is kind of a different imagery, but yeah, there are these little tracks and lines through it, so that's something I think we gotta put in here. And I think I'm gonna pull the yellow. Let's find a really good yellow. Ooh. That one's pretty good. It's on that kind of like greeny cusp. Oh, so pretty. Alright, we'll try and make something that pretty. I was also thinking, because in the last one I had like the little bits that were on the sides, and like same with this one. I think that'll be a nice like finishing touch as well to also add here, is just kind of have that sort of material growth on the outside, because that also kind of adds a little something to it. Alright, so let's try and add some little things. And I will add a layer. Even though I know I like to talk about minimizing your layers, but we're gonna experiment. And because we're doing that, I'm gonna make a new layer before I merge down and commit to keeping these details. Let's see how they go first and foremost. These are really relaxing for me. Maybe not for you if you're riled up on my my Hobbit take, but I'm enjoying them. And we're gonna have to change the color too, because there's that variation, like the blues and the greens. These are like it's like all my comfort colors in here. I love that spectrum. Iridescent shiny things just, they feel so magic. I love how the stone is described in the books. Yeah, I'm still on that. And talks about how it just like captures the light and like reflects it in these little prismatic bands of like pale light. And it sounds so pretty, so cool. I want the Arkenstone without the dragon and, the death. Let's I think I want to do blue. Cuz we got a lot of like, well, I mean, we do have blue in this too, but this really nice bright blue, I think, will add a lot. So let's kind of build up some more little areas. Bum bum bum. And I think I have mentioned this before, but these little studies are a really great way to get warmed up. Especially like, if you're feeling kind of burnt out from painting and doing whatever, little material studies are great to give you a little bit of direction and let you accomplish something kind of quick. Because I've talked about like giving yourself those small wins before, and it's really important, like for your psychology and like that kind of mental health. Giving yourself little tasks that can be done, and when you're doing, studies, you have all the directions you need right there. So I do recommend them if you're feeling a little bit tired but you want to create something, and it's still a way to create something that's kind of pretty and cool, and then you can still feel good about like sharing it and stuff. So, and that's always nice. Give yourself little accomplishments to kind of help recharge yourself. That way you can keep making the thing. Come on. You clearly had it on magnifying glass. You just don't want to comply with me. Computer's fighting me. Okay. It's looking interesting. I think that's enough for the veininess. I will commit to it. Bam! Just like that. But I'm going to make a new layer. And I want to add some of these pockets of color. We need some big shapes because the details are all kind of on a similar scale at the moment, and we need to break that up. So I want to add a little more stuff in here. Maybe some white. Because I also want to think about like the light getting caught inside this object, kind of bouncing off and bouncing inside different areas of, whatever. Look, I don't know why opals and gemstones look like this, but I'm assuming there's like different materials that inside, or like minerals, whatever it is that the light is hitting. The only thing I do know is that the light is going inside the stone, it's hitting different surfaces and material, and so it's causing, the light to bounce around and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, the point is, I'm trying to replicate that in a very long, roundabout way of saying it. But, yeah, so there's that. This green is really cool. Put some of this green. Ooh. You're at max brightness, but... Maybe you don't work in here, that's sad. Maybe you gotta be more... let's see. Not loving it, but we'll knock a few areas with this color. We'll try and make it work. I still want to kind of define more shape. We need more areas of shape and little bits inside this thing. Kind of feel a bit more opaque and less uniform. It's a bit too uniform right now. And nature is a little more random and beautifully chaotic. We need to add a little bit of that chaos. Like I said, it didn't come in with a plan, but we'll try and make it work. I think the blue was nice. I need a stronger blue, and also I think I will use a blend mode to kind of make things pop a little bit more. So let's try some color dodge. Ooh, let's... we need to find the right... These are too bright. The stone itself might be too bright. But, let's see. It's got some texture to it. got some visual interest, but oh, excuse me. Actually, let's merge that all down in base. Yep. And get another layer. Okay. Alright, I think we need some darker areas because this thing is pretty bright and the contrast is going to help make it look a lot more interesting. Because all the little glittery bits, like that's endgame stuff. You know, if we put that in now before we've like really established the rest of the details, it's not going to look good. So we want to make sure we got a pretty solid base to work off of before we start getting into all the fun little glittery bits, which I really want to do. But we gotta work on this a little bit more. It's starting to come together though. That's the main thing. I'm trying to think of the object three-dimensionally. What's going on with it? Ooh, that's a nice color. Yeah. Throw that in some areas. And down here. When I'm choosing the color, like I'm wanting it to kind of bounce around the image to help balance it out a little bit, so that's starting to get into like color theory stuff, which we can get into. But I'm more loosely thinking of color theory. I'm not really like fully employing all the principles of it. But that is one thing that kind of helps. Like if you put color in one place, you kind of want it in like other areas of the composition to kind of balance it out. Unless you are specifically wanting to use color as like, you know, a highlight and focus. That's a whole other whole other ball game and a whole other consideration. But typically when you're adding color, you kind of want to hit the composition with that same color, or at least like, you know, in the range of the hue in other places of your composition to keep it a little more interesting and balanced for the viewer to look at. Because you want your viewer's eye to like look through the composition, but then like have a main focal resting point. These are all concepts and theories that can be built upon. And we probably will. We'll touch on them like here and there, like little aspects of them. I am going to add the shine. And for this, we probably could do color burn. I'm wondering if lassoing it. So it would be like there. I don't know if I like that. Nah. Let's try. Okay. No, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna try and do it all manually. Bum bum. Yeah, because the area of the shine, we're gonna lose some of the detail underneath because the light is hitting it. Okay, so we're gonna need to darken some areas. We need more contrast in this thing. And I think actually color burn will work better. Ooh, yeah. Okay. We need more color. But I don't want to get too crazy, because I do want this to be like primarily a kind of whitish stone. But we do need a little more contrast. It's looking pretty. These oranges are really nice. I think we're gonna hit it with some orange. I'm gonna merge everything down, and I need a really bright orange. Let's see. Maybe more into the red. Okay. I might actually go in and like touch those with some either color burn or color dodge. We'll see. So I kind of want to blow them out a little bit. We add some little veinies. Okay. And then I'm just masking it so that the effect is not like bleeding off into the background. Let's try color burn. And then also, I'm gonna merge this down in a minute. Just because I keep talking about minimizing your layer usage, so I feel like I should stay true to that. I will hit these in certain areas. Bum, bum, bum. Looking very watery, which is cool. Alright, merge it all down. This. Now. I think I'm gonna add a little more of the white veins. We've just been kind of like building and throwing detail on top of it. And like, it's very possible you might like look like when you guys like watch the recording after, you might feel at like a certain point like, oh, I was looking better here, why did you go in this route? And that might be true, but I'm still just kind of experimenting with it and seeing how it goes. I'm not too worried about it being like perfect. Like, I want to make it look cool. I want to like try and encapsulate as much of my idea or vision as possible, but I'm not so married to the idea that I'm not willing to explore some other possibilities with this piece. So, and whatever happens, we're gonna learn from it, and that's the main thing. You know, the study should be giving you something. If it's not really like teaching you anything, it's kind of a waste of your time. But I haven't really painted an opal before. I think I've done like a study of one of these, like directly like one for one kind of study. But to kind of create my own image is a little different. Oh, just gonna experiment. You know, all the details that we put in, if we, come on. If we end up like knocking them back and like, you know, kind of painting over them, oh well, like at least we tried them out and tried to see what worked and what didn't. So, experiment. See how it's going, see what you like. Might be some things that you learn in this one. It might not work well in this one, but it might be a concept or an idea that works really well in another piece, but you won't know if you don't try it. That's my excuse for coming in here unprepared. Oh, the whole point of the painting demo. Maybe. I promise it'll look like something at the end. Maybe not the Arkenstone of Thrain, but it'll look like something. Ba, 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 ba. Interessant. It looks like a thing. I am going to add more detail. Now, it's so galactic. It's so cool. I think I am gonna have to use more effect layer stuff to kind of get the glow and like the way I want this to look. And actually, we might use one of my actual like texture brushes. I think this is a good one for that. So yeah. That's got a good like splatter. Ooh, yeah. I dig it. Okay. So we're gonna add more of this stuff, more of this detail. Because I mean the base that I have is pretty much gonna be the base of the painting. Like I'm not changing too much there. So I think we're ready to add a little more detail. More of the finishing touches. And then I'll add some of the kind of growth, the crystal-y growth things. Let's get a nice blue. And hit that in some specific spots. For contrast. That's alright. Now I'm gonna go back to my chalk brush. Mythical chalk brush. And I want to try just to kind of add a little more shape and variety still. Not quite done with that. Kind of just building off the shapes that are here already. Because it's like it's kind of like when you're looking at clouds and you start pulling like shapes out. Oh, hang on, this is not the right brush. You start seeing different like shapes and objects and stuff like that, you know, and that's kind of the same thing as when you roughly put in like color and stuff like that. It is kind of similar to looking at clouds and creating shapes and ideas, just because there's enough vague image and like shadow and light and stuff like that for your imagination to kind of fill in the blanks. So when I'm looking at this and I'm seeing all the like different shapes that there are, I'm getting more of an idea of like where I want to build stuff up, you know, what I want to like add a little more detail to. That's kind of why we work from big to small, like from vague to refined, because it ends up looking a little more natural as well. A lot going on. Pretty interesting looking piece anyway. It's opally. Okay. Now, this will either work or it won't. I need... I'm gonna add some real, like, striations and fissures in this thing. And like I said, it's either gonna look good or it's gonna look really bad. There's no in between. It's either awful or fantastic. But I think that would be kind of cool to have some actual kind of fissures. I'm just gonna commit to them. Just make them work. Ah! Bum, bum, bum. Sorry if I'm not talking enough, I'm just kind of doing. This needs to... Let's go back to more opacity. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna stick with it. Stick with it and keep going. I like this spot of green though, I gotta say. Let's get more of that minty green. It's a nice call out color. And maybe go back to our splatter brush. Where are you? Alright, there. 100%. And let's get a good pink. We need like a really bright kind of neon pink. Okay, looking interesting. Color burn, I think. I think still with the color burn. Kind of get some of these colors to pop a little bit. Oh yeah, let's throw some purple. I love purple, by the way, my favorite color. Not that you cared to know or asked, but I'm telling you. Okay. And do some color dodge. Kind of knock back all the detail. Maybe give it some of that cloudiness that I'm wanting to give it. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Do. Okay. One more with the color burn. There you are. Grab some of this color. And kind of touch some areas with it. Yeah, okay. Alright. I think this is good for now. I'm going to add some more details around it. This one's really pretty. Maybe next time we just kind of like try something opaque, because this is the second time I've done more of like a translucent stone, so it might be worth trying to do something, a more opaque material, and making that really interesting. Because these, like, you could do some really cool details with like all the cracks and stuff like that. So glittery, so pretty. I like shiny things. I want to try one more thing. I really like this kind of pinky purple, and I want to add that in here. Maybe pull some of this. Okay, not too much, because I don't want to undo everything I just did. So, and I think it does need some yellow. A really nice bright yellow. Kind of get that in some spots, bring it back a little bit because we lost some of it. Hang on. Just trying to add, like, I'm still messing around with like colors and just kind of throwing some in here and there and just seeing if I like it. And I'm not sure that I do, but okay. I want this blue. Get you up there. Throw some in here. Down here. Alright. Okay. Don't want to overwork this thing too much. I think I actually have to knock it back a bit more. Especially the outer rim should be pretty white. Making it feel more spherical, just with this kind of like glassy material. Okay. Alright. Opal. And I will do the little bits on it. I need to think about how this would cast shadow, because shadow is gonna help. Light sitting here. A shadow there. Get the greeny color. Or maybe some of this blue too. I think if it leaves kind of like a prismatic shine, it'll also help the effect. There we go, a little bit of that rainbow. Okay, and we need to darken the edges of this shadow. Otherwise it won't look like a shadow. set the shadow to an effect, a blend mode layer as well. Blend mode layer. Yes, I can talk well. Yeah. No, I wanted the darker colors, thank you. Okay. So, we're gonna do that. I need to blur it also, because it's way too crisp. Filter... Gaussian blur... More. More. More blur. Too much blur. That's good. I'll make a copy. Okay, let's go through some of these blend modes and see what's working. I might do a multiply closer to the lighten's kind of cool. Oof, that blows it out. Soft light. Okay. Multiply. Because the shadow is going to be a little bit darker closer to where it actually, like where the object is actually touching the ground, and it's going to get lighter towards the end of it. And I'll do one more. And we're going to put you to... Let's see, there was one that did kind of made the highlight really nice. Maybe is lighten. Oh, too much with color dodge. Overlay. Let's see about you, overlay. Thank you. Oh, are you being weird? Why are you doing that? Okay. We might have an issue. Here we go. There we go. It wasn't working. I do that. Highlight's gonna be really bright right by the object too. Okay. It's looking. Might be too hot. The overlay might be too much. Spending a lot of time on this shadow, huh? I like it. Yeah. But the problem is, see, these are all effect layers. So let's see if... Okay. So now, like, look, I'm not worried about like keeping everything separate and all that sort of stuff. The reason why I made like a little copy here is like if I didn't and I just merged the effect layers, it gets rid of the effect. And so everything that you just did, like layering all these different like blend modes and stuff, will just like vanish. Because it's showing you what the effects would be on top of like whatever the solid background color is. So I just made a copy of the background color, the solid color, so that when I merged everything down, it was merging it into that solid color so I could keep all the stuff that I just did. I hope that made sense. But anyway, so there's shadow. And we're gonna have to edit the shadow. I forgot to do this the last time I did the gemstone study, because when I added the little growths, they should have also cast a shadow and like changed this too. But I forgot to do that, so this time we will try to remember. So let's put some little growthy bits on there, because they're fascinating. Material breakups just make for much more visually interesting things. That's it. That's the whole thought. And like with this one, we're seeing it like hit the surface, but like you also see how the material kind of like is inside as well, and then like coming to the surface too, just how this gem is cut. So we'll, oh, my music. Hey, we've been going an hour. And I'll restart. Boy, I'm really gonna need like another lo-fi thing. Not that I like mind this, but I feel a little bad having the same music all the time. This one's just like perfectly mellow, nice little loop. So, well, hopefully he makes more like that. Because I think they are perfect for this sort of like chill, mellow streaming. Because I could put like the rest of his songs in a playlist, but it's a very different energy, which I'm not quite bringing to the stream. Do 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 do. Man, Monday just like crept up on me. You nearly didn't get a stream. I'm sure you would have been heartbroken. Add some little bits. These little breakaway bits are cool. Oh, jeez, what happened? Freaking out. Need a little bit more. Gotta remember also, like, no, I don't want them to look, they're starting to look a little like continents, like, I don't want to localize them too much. I need to make sure I put that little bit of randomness as well. Is that too random, maybe? I don't know. It's kind of cool. Might work. Like, they're not going to stay this color either, so. We're going to add the yellow to them. These strange little crystally growths. And hang on. Kind of wondering. I'm gonna cast shadows inside as well. Still experimenting. If I'm not talking as much, it's because I'm trying to process. Thinking about how this looks. I'm kind of digging it. I'm going for it. Yeah. Sort of working. We'll see. See if I can salvage it. Potentially. Well, what's going on here? We got some nice areas where it's hitting it. Okay. We're gonna try and do some cool stuff. Try. No promises. Just trying. I like the blue. I like the blue kind of casting shadow inside the gemstone. And I'll probably hit it with an even brighter yellow, if not almost white. Closer to the highlight. Right now, just kind of going with it because it's looking kind of cool. Pull the color through so it feels like it's inside the stone. Yeah. Yellow. Ooh. Oh, it's looking interesting. It's taken an unexpected turn. Oh, let's see. Interesting, interesting. I like it so far. These will also need a little bit of the yellow, a little bit of the green maybe. Heck yeah, it's coming out to something. These are gonna not have as much light, although they will get bounce light. So we gotta make sure we add that in there too. Let's go with like a really bright yellow. Yeah, because I want to feel like this is inside the stone and then also like breaking through the surface. Yeah, there we go. Salvaged it at the end. See? We just came to do some things, and maybe it was unexpected, but in a good way. We've created something pretty interesting. Now, the white is working. Maybe we can do like a really bright yellow on the edge, because the light's coming through, so this side is more shadowed, but the edge of this thing is going to get quite a bit of light. That's also going to help show that it's on the surface. We're in the end game. I can see it coming together. Now, yeah, I really want to hit these edges with like a very bright kind of white, because that's helping to separate the surface. Like that. And then let's bump it up to 100, crank it to 11, and get some of these little areas, some little glittery light stuff. Alright. It's looking cool. I'm happy. Okay, I need a little bit... Oof, excuse me. I need some water. Hang on. I'm gonna sip this water. Okay. I have had my water. Make sure this edge is kind of crisp. My nose itches. Sorry. Yeah, that kind of works. Hitting the backside with kind of like the blue bounce light. Yes. Acceptable. I find this good. Okay. I'm gonna add it into the shadow, so I gotta think. And we're gonna do it with soft brush. Nah, fuck it. We'll do it with the chalk brush and we'll just Gaussian blur it out. So first of all, light's coming in here. This is gonna project. Oh god, hang on. My brain, I have to think about perspective and the reflection and the cast shadow. This is a round object projecting onto a flat surface. Okay. I don't know if this is... it's not going to be super accurate. But it does need to have this shape. It needs to show enough of this to be believable that it is its cast shadow. Oh man. Perspective is gonna start getting kind of wonky. This part we can kind of make up because we can't see the other side of this growth, so we don't know exactly the shape. I'm just gonna give it a shape like that. Okay. This is near the edge. I need this to be darker. So this is getting really stretched. So it's going to be pretty thin. Most of the detail is not going to read because it's getting so stretched out. And it's going to go about there. Yeah. These are pretty solid. Okay. Light is hitting. Oh, there's you as well. God damn it. And this one too is gonna overlap. Just put it like there. This little bit is representing this. Because the object is curving, so this is actually kind of in front of these objects. Okay, and we got this one. Visualizing the light hitting it. Oh, this one's hurting my brain. Art masters are gonna be looking at this and be like, oh, you chump, you know, you can't calculate the shadows in your head? Weak. No, wait a second. It's on the curve. I'm gonna project. Are we gonna see it? I think it might be here. Okay, and then this one. Thinking of the fall off. Light's coming in. This one might be more over here. Yeah, maybe. It's not like fantastic, but it's also the wrong shape. Damn it. Okay. I'm thinking. I think you're gonna be like that. Yeah. Oh, that's where I'm putting you. Right or wrong, that's where you're going. Oh god. It's just my brain just like shut down like when you open a program and the screen kind of whites out and you're like, oh fuck, please don't crash. Yeah, okay. Well, they're not going to be like super accurate, but good enough. And a blur. Yeah, that'd be the same amount of blur. Okay. Alright. Let's get rid of the reference for right now. I just want to look at this thing. That's pretty cool. Okay. Shadow? Committing to the shadow. That's inaccuracies and all. The growths. I want to do some color correction with levels. So, let's copy. Let's darken. Bring out some saturation. Okay, and I want a soft brush. There you are. I'm at that point because I'm already at the like hour mark where I can feel that my throat is starting to hurt. So like I'm starting to speak a little softer and deeper, just because like I know I don't want to start coughing, and I will if I, you know, try and go a little more happier and higher, like how I started out. Like I can't do that right now, so my throat will suffer. All right, we're gonna add a little bit more. Ooh yeah, let's add a little more to the shadow parts. Ooh, it's adding the depth. You know how much I like to add the depthiness. Alright, in there. Yay! Oh, this came out pretty as well. I'm happy about that. It might not be as, like, super magnificent as the actual opal, but we made a pretty thing. That makes me happy. And actually, I'm gonna bring in some of it here so that when I put the highlight back in, it really pops. Hopefully. That's my plan anyway. J levels. Bam. Just snowball now. Alright. Yeah, I mean that can pretty much be because I'm just painting in highlights. And do that. Actually, we want this one. Oh, well. Excuse me. Alright. I mean, maybe it won't even show up at all. I don't love it. So maybe I just kind of knock this back again. Just pick out some key areas. Yeah. Oh no, that area can stay nice and bright under here. And yeah, get these edges. Okay. Alright, cool, cool. I think we're gonna call that good. We have our reflection. We'll keep those in. Oh, you know what? We can add a little glow to this thing, because this purdy stone, I think it should have a glow. Let's do a J. We're gonna... oh no, my brain is shutting down. Ooh. Just like that. But we're not gonna keep it all the way around. We're gonna do this, and this one definitely soft brush. Oh, my back. Oh man, I gotta stand up and stretch after this. I'm just gonna add a little bit of the shine, like right where the light would hit it. Yeah, maybe on the back a little bit, just a little. Ooh, make it magical. Yay. You know, we can go ridiculous with this thing too. Actually, we can add an optical flare. Um. Okay. Just hang on. I had to remember how to do this. And this. I will explain what I'm doing. Give me a second. Okay. So, I'm marking a location and I've made like this black because I'm going to use a blend mode, but right now, video, other, I have to remember where it is. Start, render, yeah, okay. I haven't done this, I didn't want fibers, fuck you. I want, I want a lens flare. Now here's the thing with the preview window, okay? Like, I can move this, right? So I want the light to hit, like, the area. And you can try different lens flares. Oh. Hey, you know what? Actually, that might be kind of cool with, because we have this crystal-y thing. Let's try it. We'll see what it looks like. If it sucks, it sucks. And then... Oh my god. Might be too much. We might have to, like, tone it down. Ooh, Jesus. Okay. Let's go through the blend modes. Lightning, you don't really see anything else of it. That's kind of cool. The screen kind of works. You get that. We might go with screen. We'll see. Oh god, color dodge is just like way too much. Nope. Nope. Okay. The thing I don't like, we see is kind of the lines. Nah, it's kind of boring. So, I don't really love it. Let's try a different... Oh, fuck off then. I don't want to have to undo everything. Let's just get rid of this. And let me mark the spot. Yeah, so the reason why I put that little white dot there is because, like, otherwise I don't know where I want my shine to be. Yeah, okay. Got that. I need this full. Let's try a different one. Lens flare. And this one's kind of like my go-to. The problem is we really want the shine to be going like that, I guess. I mean, if it's hitting here, because that's where the shine would be. Let's see what that's like. Probably it's gonna be... It's cool, but it's not, like, communicating well. It's kind of a bummer. It's also blowing it out way too much. The lens flare. I don't know. It might not work for this piece. Which is kind of a shame. Because it's a nice effect. I mean, at least I got to show it to you, but like... Hang on. We might just put a lens flare and then we can just move it. So, let's try that. Render lens flare. Because I really want like that. That's the way I want it. Oh, change the brightness. That's cool. I mean, we can also like just change the opacity too, so it's kind of irrelevant. That one's kind of cool. I tend to go with this one because this is kind of, I mean, typical, but it works pretty well. Okay, and we'll just put you on screen. Yeah, see, and like I can just kind of mask out the areas where it's like not making sense. We can also rotate it a little bit. And I'm probably gonna mask it also like on the gem because I don't really want it to like be blowing out these details. This one can stay. And let's... like maybe it doesn't fully make sense, it just looks kind of cool. Like maybe we just keep the top bit. I don't know. I'm gonna keep this a little bit lighter. I don't know. Maybe we'll just keep the top. I'm gonna try one more time. I want to try something. Because I'm kind of just like winging it because I don't fully... I'm not like fully cognizant of like how lens flares would like interact with the object. So I'm kind of just muddling through it. Lens flare. Let's... because maybe this is like correct, because if the light is hitting and then we get the lens flare like pew, like that. Oh, maybe that is the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, screen. And then I'm gonna tone you down a little bit. And also mask you out a little bit around here because I don't want it killing the detail. Alright. We're just gonna leave it like that. It might not be correct because I don't know enough about lens flares to understand how to put it in correctly. But that is a little thing in Photoshop that you can utilize if you know how to do it better than me. That's just in the render. And I'm obviously doing it on the black background because I'm going to use a layer effect. Because I think if it's just a blank layer, I don't think it'll show up as well. I mean, you can play around with it and experiment and see what you like, but that's just the method that I use because I know I'm going to use the blend mode specifically. Yeah, alright, cool. Alrighty, this is the thing that we have made. I'm going to save it. And I'm just going to name this screen flare. Everything else can be merged down into the opal. I might just keep the glow on a separate opal. Yeah, okie dokie. Alright, cool. Well, that was fun. We got to do some stuff. We got to check out some effects, and you got to watch me flounder through this piece. I don't know what we'll do for next week, but yeah, I'll be here. Alright, that's it. Bye!